Richard, are you there?
Yes, how you doing?
Great,
Martin,
how are you?
Martin and Jeff, it's been enjoyable to see you, both of you, for about 8 years already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, I see you on and off, not all the time, and I really enjoy the show.
Thanks.
I'm a Christian, and I believe in a creator. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. And the greatest evidence, I guess, that I can present to both of you is just look at yourself in the mirror. Aside from
Which one of us?
all the animals in the earth,
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Which of us should look in the mirror?
Both of you,
Yeah.
Which of us should look in the mirror?
both of you,
Both of us. You're saying this is evidence of God?
a creator.
Of a creator? Well, which of us is the creator then that we're going to see when we look in the mirror?
No.
I'm not following you.
The product.
Okay. No, not buying it.
Yeah. I know what you're. Let me kind of preface my answer here, because I know what you're trying to say, and in a sense, there's a sense in which I think you're right, but it's not going to be in the sense that you intended. It has always been my opinion that what believers call God is simply an idealized projection of self upon the world and upon the universe. We live in this big, vast, well, it's not infinite, but it goes on for bajillions of light years. It's this huge, empty universe. It's full of stars and quasars and vacuum, and it's cold and it's lonely, and we don't know if we're the only living things in it or not. And that can be rather, existentially frightening to a lot of people. The idea that we're just existing on this tiny little speck of dust for a short period of time, and then we're gone, and we won't be missed, and that's it. And I think that in order to make themselves feel less alone, less abandoned and adrift in this big vacuum of space, people create gods. It's a projection of the human image, their own image, onto the universe. And then you have a God who is looking down upon you. He is watching over you, keeping you safe and protected, and you feel loved. And so, so when you talk about look at yourself in the mirror and you'll see God, I agree that that's what Christians are doing, but I don't think it's just not in the way you say.
You'll see evidence.
Excuse me, I don't mean it that way. I mean it like the end product. Like there's so many animals on this earth, and not a single one can fabricate, or create, or we're talking to each other through a television.
Well, there used to be Neanderthals, and the evidence is that we wiped most of them out and interbred with the last few.
Well,
so, it's happened more than once, dude.
It's there's different arguments. It's an argument out there, and it's a theory.
Yeah, no, it's not even that. I think it's a desire. It's a belief. It's the way people want to see things, and it's just a way of explaining the universe and in human terms.
In regards to the Neanderthals, there's different stories about that, and you got yours and I got mine. And
no, dude, excuse me. The story that is relevant concerning Neanderthals is the story that has been put together by paleontologists through careful examination of the actual physical evidence. And any other story is just made up. Now, theirs is subject to a certain amount of interpretation, but every other story is just made up.
Well, because we're humans, we can disagree with each other in regards to that.
We can, but really the story to pay attention to is the one that comes from the mouths of the people who are actually looking at the facts.
Well, the facts, it's like you can say one thing and somebody else, the facts could be different.
Dude, look, these are people, we're talking about people who have actually gone around the world, combed over the actual physical evidence and very carefully analyzed it. Anything else you've got to tell some different story about the Neanderthals is bullshit compared to that.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand. It's nice to think that we can just have, everybody's opinion is equally valid, but it's not true. It is not true that all opinions are equally valid. There are some people who are good, who are well versed in certain subjects, and they know more about it than we do.
I just don't
when
believe
I have a plumbing problem in my house, I call a plumber. I don't say, well, I'm not a plumber, but my story about how to fix my sink is just as good as his. That's ridiculous.
I just don't believe that we evolved from a monkey. You know, why hasn't the monkey...
That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to. Nobody is forcing you to believe anything you don't want to believe.
Exactly.
But when it comes to questions of, you know, whose version of reality is the one to pay attention to, it's the one that's based on a careful analysis of the actual available evidence, and not any of the other ones.
Yeah, there's different evidence to different situations.
No, there isn't.
Yeah. I believe so.
Well, again, you can
All
believe as
that's
many...
not what it's about, dude.
You can believe as many incorrect things
Can
as
we
you
have
like.
camera
And what
one
we're
on,
trying to explain
camera 3 on Martin, please?
is that belief and opinion are not the same thing. See, and this is this sort of conflation of the two ideas.
Yeah,
and
we
so what
got
creates
different
problems
opinions and
intellectually
different
in our culture. Yeah, yes, there are people who have different stories about how certain events play out. And as Jeff's trying to explain to you, the one that is actually backed up by the available evidence is the one at the end of the day that you have to say that's factual until better evidence comes along. You can believe what you like, but beliefs aren't facts. They are unequal things. They're not the same concept. They're not arrived at by the same cognitive tools. There are non-trivial differences between the two.
Well,
my shirt is red. You can believe all the livelong day, even if you're colorblind, that it is bright pink with orange polka dots. You can believe that all the livelong day, but it's a red shirt.
I believe there were Neanderthals, and the different stories about it. I can present another fact in regards to it, and it differs from you or whoever the people that you.
All we're trying to explain to you is that you may decide upon whatever explanation of life and the universe you like, but you have that right to have that opinion and have that belief.
Yes,
but
I believe in that.
you understand, we're simply trying to get you to understand that beliefs are not equal to facts, and you could be wrong. And as long as you're willing to understand that your beliefs, whatever degree of satisfaction and comfort they make you feel, aren't the same thing as facts. Because I've met theists like that.
My facts could differ from yours, and
No, your facts.
You are entitled to your beliefs. You are entitled to your own beliefs. You are not entitled to your own facts.
Yeah.
Well, the facts are what they are.
Based on interpretation, and
dude.
No.
In regards to
look, okay, fine, but the only interpretation that's valid is the one that's done by professionals.
How far back were the Neanderthals?
No. I think we're done here. Look, and I'm going to go a little bit farther than Martin just did. While it is true that you have a right to your own beliefs, at the point when you start trying to convince other people, like you're doing right now, you're trying to convince me and Martin that we should take your beliefs seriously, right? When you do not have the evidence on your side.
Well,
you may have the right.
You
have the right to free.
Facts.
I'm talking here.
I
am talking here. Goodbye, Richard.
Jeff.
The content of this video is produced by the Atheist Community of Austin, a nonprofit educational organization promoting positive atheism and the separation of church and state. If you enjoyed this content and are willing and able to provide a donation, please visit the website below.